Hey, all, my name is Kurt, and this is Trenton. Welcome to SLB Basement Bourbon Bar. And today, Trenton, I thought we'd do a distillery review. It's been a while.
Yeah, I don't even remember the last one that we did.
I honestly don't remember either. And I picked Angel's Envy today. You know why?
Why?
Because, thank you for asking, because I've had a lot of questions for quite a long time about Angel's Envy in general, especially having to do with the basic entry-level release and the finished rye.
Okay.
So
what kind of questions? Just like, are they any good? That kind of thing?
Well, are they any good? Are they worth the money? And, especially this one here, is it a good beginner's bourbon? There's just a lot of questions about Angel's Envy. I find the opinions to be flip of the quarter. Some people really like it. Some people kind of really don't.
Yeah.
So I thought it would be good, and even educating us a little bit, because we don't really get into Angel's Envy much at all.
I don't think.
And hopefully it'll be educating to you as well.
I don't think we've done a video on Angel's Envy or put it in any kind of video. Not that I can remember off the top of my head.
Not much.
And I mean, truth be told, I hope you did your research. Because I don't have any Angel's Envy at home. I might have this one, but I don't think I've opened it before.
Right.
I might have tried it here also.
Sure.
But especially for rye, I mean, anything that says rye, I'm kind of intrigued right away. But I know it's a little bit expensive.
Yes.
So we'll kind of see if it's worth the bargain.
Well, what I put on the bar top for you, buddy, is the basic entry level. All right. The finished rye, we talked about that. This is a store pick that I bought at Binny's.
I didn't even know they did store picks.
Yeah. So I thought that would be interesting to put out here. And this is their special release. I think they come out once a year in a beautiful wooden box and all that stuff.
Yeah, that's once a year.
I have the 2019. This is the 2020. I haven't purchased any more past that, but I thought it'd be interesting to put this, on the review as well, to see how that relates to the rest of the collection.
Yeah. All right.
So let's get started, man. We're going to go up this one here, the very first one, the entry level, right? This is what most all the questions are about. Is this a good beginner's bourbon or not? It's 86.6 proof. It's going to run you about $45 to $50, somewhere in that general range, depending on your area.
So it catches my eye that this is are all Angel's Envy port finished, like apart from this one? I know this is a rum finish.
Yeah, this is port finish, and I know they're this is just a barrel pick, so this would be the same as this, other than a cask strength barrel pick. This one's always finished in something. Like this one says tawny port, but it's always going to be finished. Yeah, from what I gather, from what I understand.
I that's interesting, because I don't know that I've seen other like entry level port finishes before at like 86 proof. Usually they're kind of higher, 100 proof, somewhere around there.
Sure,
but
yeah, I mean,
$50. I mean, beginner.
Yeah, and that's the conversation we'll have here in a minute. But I find the nose to be very sweet. I find it to be pretty sweet, and a little bit of fruity tones, maybe a tiny bit of light brown sugar of some sort.
I don't know if I'm just sensitive.
I don't even know if I get that brown sugar much now the second time around.
I get like a little bit of like it's pretty kind of oaky to me. It's like an oak lollipop almost.
I have a really hard time, unless it's extremely oaky, picking that up on the nose for me personally. Palate, a little bit more, but
I always forget about your little surgery that you had there. Oh, all right.
I find it to be pleasant. I really do. I get some berries. There's a little bit of light sweetness there, not much. Whether you want to call it light caramel or light brown sugar, a little bit of sweetness there. And there is some oak, though.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of oak. It's not a lot, but there's a little bit of oak there as well. And that's pretty much what I get.
Yeah, it's not like a confectionery sugar. It's more like a brown sugary something or another.
Yeah, yeah.
It's not bad for the only... Well, two problems. The proof, obviously, for me. I've been trying to get a little bit more into lower proof stuff too, so I can try and find them. There's a lot of comments of people that say I need that I've lost the plot a little bit on lower proof stuff. So I have been kind of training my palate to find flavors in lower proof stuff.
Yeah.
But $50.
Yeah, and that's the key. Now, to be truthful with you, Trent, if somebody ever asks me in a comment or an instant message of any sort, what are a few bourbons that you would recommend for a beginner? I always put that I always put that in one of my recommendations, but with quote unquote parentheses, price point. And I always put it in verbiage, that will be a choice, because to me, I personally feel this is an excellent beginner starter type bourbon for somebody to start with, because it's definitely not proofy. You don't get that. It's got some sweetness to it. It's a little bit light, but it's something to start with. But I always say, it's $50.
Yeah,
so
if your budget allows.
Only you can determine whether that's going to be okay with your budget. For me, when I was starting, I wanted to keep in that $20 to $30 range, because if you didn't like it, you didn't feel so bad if you paid $20 compared to if you didn't like it, you paid $50.
Yeah.
So,
All right.
But I do think it's a pretty decent beginner's bourbon. All right, this next one here is also a little bit controversial. Really? This is the Angel's Envy Finished Rye. You can flip the coin on that one, Trent. A lot of people really love it, and a lot of people really don't love it. And the main reason, I believe, is because the finish on here, this is finished in Caribbean rum barrels, and it's 100 proof, and it's going to cost you about $90. So I feel that the finish on here is really thick and prominent. So I think that's going to appeal to some, but also not appeal to others.
It's mapley.
It is.
Almost a little pineapple-y too, which, when I hear Caribbean rum, I think of like tropical flavors, obviously. So that it might be like kind of my head just trying to fit that in somewhere. But it's almost like, to me, it's like if you glazed pineapple chunks with some maple syrup.
Yeah.
A little char in there too, kind of.
Well, I can let the cat out of the bag right away on this one. I like it, personally. This is one of the few I always mention when it comes to finished whiskeys, that I don't want the finish to override the goodness of the whiskey, because it kind of ruins it for me. This is one where I truly feel the finish does override the whiskey a little bit.
I can see that.
However, I really like the finish on this one myself. It's thick. Some people won't like that. It's rich and thick. It's tropical-y, per
Very
se.
tropical.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's really nice. I think the proof point's decent. 100 proof.
It's like the pinnacle of tropical flavor. Like when you buy a tropical, let's just say candy, for example, it's all like coconut and pineapple and that kind of thing. I do get a little bit of coconut in here, like a coconut flake kind of thing.
Yeah.
But the tropical flavors are like kind of front and center on this one.
Yeah.
My only problem. Two problems, right?
Okay.
$90, and that's 100 proof. I wish it was just if they had this option in a cask strength, I would lose my mind. Because I think that proof might cut down that viscosity, viscosity just a tad.
Yeah.
To where it's not so much overriding the rye. Because I don't get a ton of rye in it. I get the finish, which is good.
Yeah.
But you're paying a lot more because it's a rye to begin with.
Well, I'll disagree and agree. I'll disagree.
What?
To the point, I think the proof is fine. I just think you prefer higher proof whiskeys. And that's understandable. Yeah. For me, I think it's fine. It's at 100 proof mark. However, at $90, I feel that's a little excessive for what you get. If you get it for $60, $70, $70 tops, I think it's a little bit better buy. I think it's pretty well done, and I relatively enjoy that. I really do. 90, that's up there.
Yeah. If you're talking like 70, I'm a buyer all day.
Yeah,
I think that's a fantastic price.
I'll find you. All right, well, let's move on to this barrel pick now. I went up to Benny's, and I go up there, I don't know, once every several months. They just have things that we don't have. So I wasn't going to look for an Angel's Envy barrel pick, but it was there on the shelf, and I thought, why not? I don't remember. I bought this 6-8 months ago. I'm not sure. But I think it was around $100 or something like that. I'm pretty sure. But it's basically the same bottle here, except for, in cask strength form or barrel proof form. One of the two. I don't remember which one. But regardless, this one here is 108 proof compared to this over here to be 86.6 proof. About $100. Now, for all of you out there, a barrel pick is when Benny's either tasted barrels or just call them and say, hey, Angel's Envy, send me a barrel. And they bottle it. And about 200 bottles of these was available at Benny's, and you purchase it, and that's how that works. So let's see what we have in this particular bottle.
Now, I'm usually kind of, I don't know what astute means, but I'm going to use that word anyway. Do you know what astute means? I'm kind of observant at times.
Yes.
You said 6 months ago, and there's not a lot out here.
I was hoping that was going to fly over your head. Maybe I shouldn't have said that.
If you're talking mostly everything else, it usually goes over my head. But like you said 6 months ago.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot missing there. Wonder why.
Is that some foreshadowing?
I wonder why. I don't know. I'm going to keep my mouth shut for now.
I don't know if it's just Angel's Envy, but I get a lot of oak on the nose even, especially with this one.
Well, there's a decent amount of oak on the palate too. That's for sure. That's going to be on a meme right there. I just don't like it at all. I'm sorry. I might as well talk about it. He's kind of contemplating there for a minute, but that's why there's so little out of there.
That's a bummer.
I had some really good sources that I truly trust their palate and their opinion. Say, if you find one, pick it up because they're really, really good. Now, again, these are barrel. This is one barrel.
Right.
So some may be really good. This one is not good. It's just not. And I like Benny's in general, but whoever was in charge of this particular barrel pick dropped the ball. Because it's bitter, it's extremely oaky-ish, dryish. It's not a lot of sweetness there. Do you find sweetness much at all?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, it's pretty poor. I was so disappointed. I wasn't even going for that bottle. That's what's, it's paid $100 and it's like, man, that was rough.
I love finished stuff. I know that you're I don't know where kind of you stand it, but a lot of times when I'm drinking stuff at home, it's a finished product of some sort.
I really like finished as well.
It tastes like a rotten cantaloupe.
Yeah, I'm with whatever you want to say about it. I'm good with, because I legitimately took a little sip out of that and put it on the shelf. I just
that's a shame.
That irritated me, to be honest with you. I was not happy about that.
I usually hold. I mean, Benny's does a lot of picks. I would kind of expect them to know what's a good barrel and what isn't, unless they were just like, like you said, give me a barrel, send it over.
All right, real quick before we move on to the next one, don't take this one as all Angel's Envy barrel picks are bad, because it's one single barrel. So, but the one bottle I got from that one single barrel, not so good. All right, Trent, this last one here I think is the 2020 release of their special release they do every year, their cast strength version or whatever they call it. This one was called the Cellar Collection. All right.
Should they change the name of those?
I don't really buy. I haven't bought any since. I know the one I got in 2019 was referred to as cast strength. This one's referred to as Cellar Collection. This one might have just been something they came up with. It takes me a while sometimes. I think your mom and I went down there when this was being released, and we were there and we were able to pick one up. Oh, yeah? So this one might not have been their normal yearly cast strength release. This might have been something special.
Oh, cool. Okay.
If anybody knows that for this particular bottle, please explain in the comments, because I don't remember everything about it. But this one here, Trent, is 111.6 proof, all right, and it's finished in tawny port barrels.
Do you know if that's different than when they just put port barrel?
I do not know.
I would assume so, since they're specifying the actual, like, the variety, whatever that is.
I would think so too.
Well, that's I don't know, because this one was really up front with the nose and the finish, but this is nice too.
I find this to be really rich in fruits.
Is it like a peppered fruit? Like a little spice of some sort. Might be the proof increase.
The proof is in there too as well. But I find some really beautiful sweetness there. I really do. I really like the fruit notes that are in there on the aromas, and maybe molasses. a little bit of hint of something darker for sweetness too. Molasses is fine by me, or brown sugar, brown sugar.
It's good.
It's nice.
That's fruity.
It's really, really good. As you can see, I've had a little bit more of this bottle.
Yeah.
I really, really like this one. Now, I believe their special releases are going to be anywhere from $200 to $250. Okay, so please keep that.
That's the catch.
But I find the nose to translate to the palate very well here, with some really beautiful, rich red fruit notes. Strawberries, berries, raspberries, possibly.
It's like a fruit leather.
Yes, sure. Some really neat brown sugar and caramel to kind of give it depth and support there. A little bit of oak there too. That's what I find, and I really, really like it. I find the viscosity to be pretty nice too. I don't feel it to be, super creamy or oily, but I would say it's better than what else we've had as far as the viscosity level. And I think it's really nice. Now, Trenton, for you, is that $250 nice?
No. Anything less than that, like I feel like even $150 is kind of pushing it for something like that.
Yeah, you know what? I mean, if I knew that there was some great, that's why I haven't bought any since then.
Yeah.
Okay, because I think it's very good, but not worth the $250 mark. Now, if one was about $150 and I hear some raving reviews that it's absolutely delicious, I'd probably go get it, to be honest with you. But you put yourself in that $200 and above. Well, you better have something special in that glass.
Yeah, it's got to take you
I
for
think
a while,
this is
right?
very good, but I don't put it on a level that's extremely special. That's for sure.
Well, like sell me this.
Mm-hmm.
If this was like $150 MSRP, sell me that without this fancy box, because you can only imagine how much that box is actually adding to the cost, but not
beautiful
not
wooden box, amazing engravings.
Yeah.
Really nicely done. He's right.
But just sell me the bottle. I'd rather have the cheaper price, because I don't know if you still have the boxes that you got. I've never purchased a cast drink one.
I'm gonna say probably not.
But I don't know. $100, that'd be a killer bottle. 125 even, I'd probably buy it. But past that, that's a stretch for me. But
well, let's finish off with this, Trent. For me, I would say this would be my first place. This would be my second place, which is the rum finished rye. My third place would be the entry level, and this is just horrible. I have to say the Benny store pick is just not good.
I'm going to differ from you a little bit on this one.
Is that surprising?
I think this Benny's is going to be my first.
Get out of here! Go home. No. What are you talking about?
I think this rum one's going to be first for me. I really like I'm also usually not a tropical flavor fan either. Mm-hmm. But this one is just lending something really nice. I wish it was a little bit more rye forward for me, because like you said, it's very dense on the finish.
Keep that in mind. The finish is really thick. It kind of rides that line a little bit more than what I usually like, but in this particular instance, I think it's great.
I'd rather purchase this at $70 than $90. This would be second, third, and then this might be a drain.
Well, we'll see what happens.
I'm sure you'll have somebody in the comments who's like, I'll take it.
And I'll be happy to let you have it. All right, that's all we got for you today. I hope you enjoyed it. We appreciate each and every one of you. As always, we ask you to please drink responsibly. See you next time right down here with Trent and I in a good old basement bourbon bar. See you later.